my first get ready with me video, so let's get started. I'm not doing too much for my face today because I am in Florida for vacation and it's hot out, so I don't want to overdo it. So I'm excited for this video. I'm really excited. I'm so happy I started a YouTube channel, honestly, because I've always been like the type of person to like go in front of the camera and like just do like me and like have a good time doing it, but I never really thought going on YouTube and like showing other people, you know, what I like to do, which is of course makeup. I just started it because honestly so many people were telling me to start a YouTube channel, The reason why I kept saying no to everybody is because I was like, oh, I don't have a good camera, oh no, no one's gonna watch it. And honestly, it doesn't really matter who watches and who doesn't watch it. I really just like having videos because I know there are people, you know, that will be on my Snapchat and be like, or how do you do your eyeliner and things like that. So I was just like, why not just make it to show people that I do know that would watch it, how I do things. So I definitely feel like it was worth making one, you know, doing this and just showing what I love to do. One thing I do want to get better at though is like transitioning colors between eyeshadows. I'm used to just doing the basic, and that's like one of my goals, is to like go outside the box and like do things that like I didn't do before with makeup. And I actually have been getting better at that, so I'm not gonna like hold myself to that too much. I have been doing better at like trying different looks and things. So one thing I want to always make sure is that like I don't change myself or change, you know, the way I do things, because there be so many people out there and so many girls that will just try to make you feel like you don't know what you're doing. It's like, it'll be the same ones that are like, you know, ooh, you know, you gotta be yourself and stuff. But it's like, honey, if you want to be yourself, you can be yourself. But don't make anybody else feel like, you know, they don't know what they're talking about, or, you know, they're doing something wrong with the way they want to do their life, or the way they want to do their makeup, or the way they want to do their hair. You know, there's so many different styles out there that people can do. But I just feel like Instagram and like all these different social medias just make, you know, females feel like there's only one way to be beautiful, and that's not true. You know, I love makeup and everything, but at the end of the day, when I take my makeup off, I still feel like I'm the same person, and you know, the makeup doesn't change me or anything. It's just me expressing myself in a different art form, and that's why I do makeup. But like, don't ever think that at the end of the day, you know, when I take this stuff off, I don't feel, you know, beautiful. I feel great. I just want like every girl to feel that way, because I know there's some girls that do put makeup on their face because they feel like that they're not pretty with just themselves, and that's not true. And I think it all, you know, it just takes time to, you know, learn about yourself and, you know, just be able to know that you're beautiful and, you know, have that confidence at the end of the day. And I think it comes in like all different stages of our lives. You know, some may be able to recognize that earlier than others, and I just think that's okay. But I'm not for the whole body shaming and, you know, this girl's fat and, oh, she needs to lose weight and stuff like that. Worry about yourself, hunty. Like, I feel like there would be so much understanding between us if we all just like accepted each other's bodies. So I don't know, I guess I'll tell you a little bit of a story about the time I found out that real friends are hard to find and you have to learn how to row on your own boat. Because let me tell you this right now, I did so much for so many people, and I just always like was that type of person who would feel like, you know, oh, I want to take this person out, you know, oh, I want to, you know, do this for this person, do this for that person, and I would never expect anything back from anybody. It's cool to be that type of person, but after a while, you know, when, you know, people don't like show anything back, or, you know, they're just like not, you know, starting to not become grateful for, you know, things that they do for you, you do for them and things like that, that's when you start to realize, you know, like who your true friends are and like who's really there for you. Because, you know, for a long time, you know, in middle school and high school, you know, so many girls, you just like, you want to, you know, fit in and everything like that. But I've never been that person. I kind of just like, I don't want to sound cocky, but, you know, people would, you know, always be my friend, or, you know, oh Lauren, I want to chill with you and things like that. And, you know, like during middle school, I would just kind of be like, oh, true, like, yeah, let's kick it, like, whatever. But then I started to realize that your girl was getting used. Like, people would really sit here and be like, oh, I want to be your friend and stuff like that. And, like, little did I know, they was the same ones who was, you know, freaking talking behind my back. They was talking behind my back, you know, talk about some, oh, you know, she got this, she got that, we could use her and everything like that. And it's just so funny because, like, those same people right now, I wish they would try to hit me up, because they would not get no hit up back. I don't play that. I do not play that. I don't get used. None of that stuff like that, because I started finding out who my true friends were, and that helped me out in the long run, because, you know, I don't got nobody now talk about some, oh, can I get this, can I get that, because I shut it down real quick. People know what's up. That, you gotta set that in stone at an early age, girl, because so many females are gonna want to make friends with you if they realize that you got something or you got it like that. And I'm telling you right now, don't let that be you, because, you know, especially if you're not strong enough to know that somebody is using you, you're gonna think it's okay. And trust me, you're gonna get used. You will. It happens. It does happen. Trust me. On that, you will get used, and it's gonna suck. But, you know, I'm trying to tell y'all this now, and, you know, you take that advice now, because later on in high school, or, you know, college, or whatever stage of life you are right now, people gonna realize that they gotta learn how to get it on their own. And your friends ain't gonna be the ones to, you know, help you through every situation. You have to learn how to row your own boat. And that's the thing that I learned. You know, I was always, you know, the one, you know, helping people out, and, you know, oh, you know, you need help with that, you know, I got you with that, this, that, and the third. But after a while, when you start getting used, you start realizing, you know, who's real and who's not. And that's gonna help you navigate and find true friends. Cool. Sometimes you might realize who your true friends are at the end of high school. Like me, I realized who my true friends were at the end of high school. And it sucks because, you know, you realize, dang, like, I wasted all of high school with the wrong people, or with that one wrong friend, or the, you know, those two wrong friends of that wrong group. And then you get to the end of high school and you start seeing, like, real people, or even just acknowledging who was real from the jump, but you didn't even really, like, notice that they was really the real ones, you know what I mean? And it's crazy. When you hit high school, or, you know, if you're about to go into high school right now, or say you're about to graduate from high school, start doing stuff for your own, boo. Because once you hit college, if you do plan on going to college, everything is on you. And when I say that, I am dead serious. You know, it's not going to be, oh, buddy, buddy, friend, let's go here, let's go there. It's going to be you. Once you hit them college essays, you're going to realize it ain't going to be nobody but yourself. And if you are still stuck in that stage where you just relying on people for this, that, and the third, and, you know, you're not really used to, you know, being on your own, you're going to have a tough time transitioning into that, you know, adulthood stage. Hold on, I'm gonna do my eyeliner real quick, and I'm gonna come back because it's hard to do it in the camera. So yeah,
I feel like once you are able to realize, you know,
that you're getting older and you can't rely on every single person to, you know, always have your back, and, oh, you know, they're gonna, you know, help me with this, and she's gonna help me with that, you know. Once you are able to realize that that's not the real world, you're gonna be just fine. You know, what else I could talk about is the first time, you know, I realized, look, I want to be different. I just had issues, like, understanding my self-worth, and because of that, you know, I would just, like, really just doubt myself, and, like, you know, doubt the things that I was capable of doing. Once I got to high school, that all changed. I tried making a dance team when I got to high school. And even though it was not, you know, as successful as I thought it would be, I'm not even going to talk about my school and why it wasn't successful or able to be successful. But just know that I did make one. I've always loved to dance. One thing people don't really know about me is I actually did competitive dancing. When I was in 8th grade, I did not like how they were just acting, you know, like the whole dance mom thing was real. It was kind of like, yeah, we on a team, but you know, my daughter gonna beat your daughter. And I'm just not with all that, and I just didn't have time for it. Whatever, I'm a chill person. Like, I don't have time to be, you know, dealing with these females who always about the drama. Like, I don't got time for that. I'm a grown woman. I'm 18 years old now. You know, when I got to high school, I just started, you know, dressing differently in different things. Me and my friend, we started rocking bucket hats, and people would be like, why y'all got sailor hats on your head? And I was like, this is not a sailor hat. Like, what do you mean a sailor hat? This is a bucket hat. Like, have you not heard about a bucket hat before? And like, they just like, nah, like y'all look like sailors. And I'm like, okay, whatever. A week later, they all rocking it. I catch y'all wave. I catch y'all wave. Y'all only want to believe the hype when you see it on a celebrity. And that's cool. You know, I think we all do that, I know, at some point. But, you know, just the fact that we was trying to really show people, like, you know, this is the new thing. You know, like, we knew about the style. Like, we knew this was what was up. I was just like, okay, look, watch in about a week when all these celebrities is rocking bucket hats. And I was like, I told you. I told you they was gonna start rocking that stove. I cracked myself up. Now, but for real though, do y'all ever just like be laughing with yourself and like you just say something and you like, ah! Girl, I can relate. But to yourself though, like, you know, no, okay. So I just started dressing differently than others, and you know, after a while, long story short, people just started like, you know, girl, I like how you dress, like, oh, you dress really nice. And I was like, thank you. Like, I'm not really, you know, doing anything big. This is just like how I dress, and it was for real. Like, I really loved dressing up. In my high school, like, I would go to school every day, probably not with a full face of makeup on, but I was definitely, you know, wearing what I wanted to wear, doing what I wanted with my hair. You know, I would do braids one day, braids another day, you know, all this stuff. So I just started, you know, just telling people, oh, where, they'd be like, oh, where you got that from? Where'd you get this from? And I'd be like, oh, this is from here, this is from there. And this is one thing I always tell people. You do not have to have a bunch of money or anything to dress right, or to look different, or to dress different than everybody else. All you really need is a sense of style. And once you have a sense of style, honey, you can rock anything. You know, you can really do anything. You can't limit yourself to anything once you have a good style. I mean, I was starting to shop at thrift shops and things, and people loved what I got, and like, where'd you get that? And I was like, I don't really remember. So, about to do this hair. Alright guys, so I only got to my makeup, but if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and follow me on IG. You know, I did my edges, got a little braid at the top, but you know, if you did like this video, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Look forward to hella more videos in the future. Goodbye, kings and queens, and see you next time.